In previous videos, I've covered inserting documents, inserting PDFs, navigating the site in terms of adding pages, laying out pages. In this last video, I want to cover inserting subpages. In the portfolio, you may need subpages because of the complexity and amount of material. So you can see on the template here I've got some subpages, and I'm going to show you how to insert and manage subpages in this section. For example, under choosing a college, you may have 3 subpages for each college that you choose. Now let me show you how to do that. Now you see 2 different types of subpage listings here. This one I inserted as a subpage listing in the page navigation, and this one was a default subpage listing. You can do either or, but I would probably do just one because it's kind of redundant to have both. So if I wanted to get rid of this little subpage listing here, I'd go to page settings, and under the page setting I would click out of show links to subpages. This one allows me to do attachments for files, showing the page title, and allowing comments. If I didn't want to allow comments on my page, I could unclick that as well. And then I click save, and it's gone. The subpage listing that was under page settings, that was under the wheel, the toolbar under page settings, and that you can do that for each page. Now when I inserted this little subpage menu here, let me show you how I did that. I went back to edit page, and you'll see that this is a generic page listing, and the way I went about that is I went to insert subpage listing, and it gave me a variety of options in terms of making a width. I can lay it out, I can make a title for it, I can put it under the current page, choosing college, which is probably where I want to put it. It could have 2 different layouts, one with a title bar, one without. I chose one without a title bar. I made the width a little wider. I think I made it 500, or I left it empty for 100%. You can leave it empty for 100% width. So in this particular case, I already did this, so it's already listed there. Down here, there's some properties for this, so I could center this subpage listing if I wanted. I could flush it left. I could choose it so that it wraps around other images, and so on. So let's say I want to center it, and let's go back to the properties for this particular subpage that I've listed. I've listed it at 500, but let's see what happens when I take off the width altogether. It says leave empty for 100% width. So let's see what happens when I do that. Let's click save. And then, as always with Google Pages, you need to click save on them. So let's see what happens. Okay, it ended up being the width of the whole page. The subpage listing. So, however you want to do that, you probably don't need it to be that big. So let's go back to edit page. Let's go back to making it flush left, and let's click on save again. Incidentally, I made these texts a little bit bigger than they would normally be, and I did that by going to, because when they first came out they were rather small, and let me show you that under another one. Let me go to another one. I can change the fonts of these subpages by going up here to manage site. Under manage site, I've got them. I can go to manage site and go to themes, colors, and fonts, and under content area gadgets, under text, I made them to be 18 point, but let's say I only want to make them 16 point. I can click on save. My changes have been saved. And if I go back over to the career articles or choosing a college, it makes them only 16 point. Incidentally, one thing to show that I believe I said you could do either or, but I want to make sure that you can see this. So when you go back to edit page and your subpage listing is there, if you go under properties, you're going to want to select this one, this appearance, and not this appearance, and that way it will change your fonts and make them a little bit bigger. So again, if you'll notice under the career articles, again, I've got 2 subpage listings. If you remember, think about what can I do to make them disappear? What can I do to just make those disappear? Remember, I go to page settings, not manage site, but page settings, and I unclick for that page, show links to subpages. If I click that, it makes them go away. Now, for naming pages, you see over here under choosing a college, I named the subpage Notre Dame. So for this page, I named it Notre Dame, and if I click on this page, it's like a regular page, and like any other page, if I go to, incidentally, if I want to make sure the URL is correct, I can go to page settings. See where this is saying something because I set it up from a template. I can change this so that I can call it Notre Dame, the actual name of the page, so that when I click on the link, it will actually be accurate under page URL. So I click on save, and I've saved the page URL. Back to the layout of this for a minute. You can see I've added a few pictures. I'm going to take a step back here and show you how I did that. But I'm going to go back to edit page, and I've showed this in a previous video, but you have your 3-column layout, your 1-column layout with 3 boxes here. But so you can insert your document here, your Drive document. Say you need to insert your college comparisons. So I'm going to find a college comparison from somebody. I'm going to pick Kylie's again, and hers is 600 pixels height. Now this will include a border around it, and this will include a title. We probably don't need the title in this particular case, so we can click on save. And now remember, this doesn't come up right away. Now if I want to make it align to the center, I can make it align to the center. Click on save if that's what I want to do. So the changes have been saved, and now I have a document that is set up so that Kylie's, even though it doesn't match up to Notre Dame, Michigan State is what she's doing. But let's say she was doing Notre Dame, it would still match up correctly. If her paragraph was on a separate document, which might not be such a horrible idea, we'd go back to edit, and we would insert another one here for her paragraph. Wouldn't be a horrible idea of the paragraph on a separate page. Now these pretty pictures are here are optional. It makes it look nicer, makes it look neater. What I did here to get these pictures in is I made a table. So I inserted a table, a 2-column table here, and then I inserted pictures on each side. You could probably do it without inserting a table, but it makes the images a little more difficult to deal with. So I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this image to show you what I did. And I'm actually going to go ahead and delete that image. I'm going to go to up to Insert Image from a web address, and I need to actually go back and grab the image. So I found this image just on Google by Googling. I just did a search for Notre Dame Golden Dome. So then I went to View Image, and that looks a little too big. So then I went to Visit Page, the main administration building at the University of Notre Dame. Then I went to, and that wasn't the one I wanted. That was the one I wanted. So Visit Page. And I want to right click on copy image URL. If I copy the image URL and go back to my tab that has my page on it, I'm going to insert an image right there. Click on web address. Right click or click Control V. And there's my golden dome from Notre Dame, the iconic golden dome. The image looks a little big, so maybe I'll make it medium. Maybe I'll make it medium, and maybe I want to center it in the middle so that it looks more complete. And then click on Save. And now my image is in there saved. I could perhaps do this without the table. I did a very similar thing for the Notre Dame logo as well. I did a very similar thing for the Notre Dame logo. So now I have now if I click on Edit Page, now I have a Google Doc and I have two images. You don't have to do this. You could do this on the actual front page for choosing a college. In fact, that would actually kind of maybe be another idea, where if you clicked on choosing a college, if you were you wanted on this page, excuse me, to go to Edit Page, and remember you have some columns here to work with. You could move your subpage listing down that I showed you how to do. And you could also do other layouts as well on this page. You're not limited to that one column layout. You could do a 2-column layout where you have your subpage on one side and the image on the other, or even a another 2-column layout where you have options for putting images on the top, or in the images here and here on the layout text boxes. The one thing that is a little bit limiting about Google Sites is the actual layout. It's a little bit limiting. You're limited to these layouts here. And this is usually the one that I would say you should default to. So you can put images here if you wanted to as well. You have, so that is basically how to function with subpages and changing the names of subpages. We've reviewed changing the names of subpages, having subpages underneath. If you don't have a subpage underneath your pages, you can click on excuse me. You can click on the page that you need it to be on, and then you can click on Create Page. Up here, click on Create Page, and this is where you would put your page underneath. Instead of putting the page at the top level, you would put your page underneath choosing a college, and you would have it as a subpage. So let's say I make another page that says Grand Valley State University, and I have it under that subpage. I click on Create, and now I have under choosing a college Grand Valley State University. And because I made it a subpage, you'll notice right away how that came up under my subpages, because I put it underneath Grand Valley State University when I created the page. So that's in summary how to create a subpage. Create subpages. They work a lot like regular pages. You're just putting them underneath the main page, and they should be helpful to you as you're designing your portfolio.